defensive attention?
Well, I hope so. Just coming back, less than a week later and playing them, that should be motivation for our guys.
What do you think these guys see, or what you showed them from the film last week? And it's kind of strange to see a team so quickly in such a turnaround.
Yeah, just what we didn't do, right. We're going to go back in and watch film here right away today, and gave them yesterday off. We'll try to get started today, get focused, and quick turnaround Wednesday night. We'll travel tomorrow, and hopefully be ready to go 8:30 Wednesday night.
What were some of those things you don't think you guys did right?
Well, all the points off turnovers, second chance points, they beat us. The areas where we've been successful when we win games are those areas, and we just didn't do a good job. Our focus, bad turnovers, we didn't have a good game. What the reason for that is, I do not know. But we got in early foul trouble with Paul getting 2 in the first 3-4 minutes. Kenny comes in, gets a quick one. So we're in foul trouble. We didn't execute. Took some bad shots. Same things that have bit us before, weren't kind to us again.
You were very upfront at the start of the season about how much work you guys had to do and how far you guys had to go. Where do you think you are now compared to the early stages of the season?
Well, I just really disappointed in our consistency. We have some good moments where guys just really seem to get it and play really well, really hard, defensively communicating. And then we have some moments where, we just play like we're freshmen, and play like we're a young team that haven't played much together. And that consistency, as a coach, you want your team to be at its best or play toward its best, and we haven't done that. I haven't done that. Our players haven't had that consistency that they should have. And so I'm disappointed in myself. At times I've been disappointed in them, but as I mentioned, as equally disappointed as I was to start that game and how we played Thursday. We come back for Saturday, and our guys did compete. Now, we didn't have a good 4-minute stretch there where we took 4 balls at the basket. Abu took 1, Paul took 1, Mikhail took 2. We got right to the rim and only got 1 point out of it. Paul missed an open 3, Elijah missed an open 3, and then we had a couple bad possessions, turnovers. But we just didn't finish plays offensively. But defensively, we didn't let that bother us. We went back to the other end and got stops. So that's the sign of a team that, okay, we were struggling offensively and we were not moving the ball and we weren't as sharp as we should have been, but we went back to the other end and really had some good defensive plays. Took a charge. Kenny got a block. Peyton dug out a loose ball. We had some really good defensive possessions there.
Is it easier for a team to get sharper when if you have a chance of playing like a third game in 3 days or like that sort of thing?
I don't know. Every team's different. Every tournament's different. For example, Michigan just won the Big Ten. They had to win an overtime game against Iowa in the first round, and then they played lights out. And so we've had those. The first year we won it, we had to win an overtime game in the first round against Washington, and then played really good the next 2 rounds. So every tournament's different, every team's different. You just go in and swing away and hope like heck something, clicks.
On the issue of consistency, Kyle said you can usually tell early on if your guys are bringing it or not on a given night. What are the triggers for you where you say, okay, hey, we're locked in tonight, or uh-oh, we're in trouble?
Well, those early fouls, bad turnovers. I mean, we went Arizona State here, who is quick and plays some pressure. We have 7 turnovers. We play Arizona, who's big, and we have 4 turnovers. And we come out, we get those early fouls, and we have, I think, 9 turnovers in the first half against Washington State. So, the focus, whatever it is, just wasn't, nearly the same. And so those are indications, the rebounding, all those things that we talk about, kind of figure out, but early fouls and early easy baskets, are 2 ways that You know, but we started out poorly against Arizona. We gave up a lot of easy shots there to start the game and recovered. But we had a crowd helping us that night.
Anything pregame down there in terms of the way they're talking or body language?
No, I mean I tried to figure that out. There's been games every year, you know, that I think, gosh darn, we're not ready to play, and we play our tails off. And other nights, I think, man, these guys are prepared, we're ready to go, and nothing. So it's not an exact industry, that's for sure.
Blue and Keith seem to have played better the last few weeks. How important is that going to be if you have to play 4 and 4 nights?
Oh, it's really important. You know, 2 and 2 nights. If we're fortunate enough to do that, you know, you need a bench. And they didn't have a good LA weekend, but you're absolutely right. The Arizona schools and these last 2 games, Keith, Abu, VJ had a decent weekend. No, they've helped us, no doubt.
Do you coach and practice your games these next couple of days? The idea that you could be playing 4 games?
We're going to play 1. And then we'll worry about Thursday, if there is a Thursday, on Thursday. You know, we can't go into anything going, okay, this is what it is. We've been to enough of these tournaments. If we win, we'll have the adrenaline, we'll have the energy, we'll be ready to play. You know, we're going to win the first game, and then we go from there.
How different is this tournament compared to the tournaments of the last couple of years? It seems like more teams are on the bubble, maybe outside looking in, maybe more to play for more teams.
I don't know. I haven't thought about that. You know, it's different for us because we're playing the first night. You know, the last 3 years, you know, 4 of the last 5, we haven't had to play the first night. You know, so it is different in that regard. But you know, I think every year you go in, and unless you've had a great year, you know, you're worried about it. And we probably do have, you know, with the exception of Arizona, you know, everybody else is probably a little bit worried. You know, Arizona's going to get in, but you know, I think everybody else probably a little bit concerned. And I think, you know, Arizona State, UCLA, USC, Utah, you know, Washington, you know, those guys are all close, you know, so I'm sure there's a lot of people thinking about it, you know, and you just got to go in and hopefully play your best.
Considering how, you know, Pac-12 play has played out this season, is this one of the most wide open races that you've seen heading into this tournament?
You know, Arizona's the best team. You know, they won the league by 2 or 3 games, you know, so they've earned that. They're the best team. You know, they're the favorite. But after that, I'd say it's, you know, a lot of teams in that next group that, and you look at, there's been a lot of close games a lot of years, but I think if you compared some of the scores, you know, like our last 3 road losses, 2-point overtime, 2-point. The Stanford Arizona State game was 1 point. You know, look at a lot of Oregon State's losses have been right down the wire. You know, so a lot of close games. A lot of close games.
Go ahead. Oh, I was going to say, Abu's been getting his playing time because of his defense, but we've seen him after games here just putting shots up for an hour or 2 at some times. What's his next step on that end of the floor,
Well, like I said, if he's patient, I think he's going to be an awfully good player for us. He does have a good work ethic. You know, he's got to get more comfortable with, you know, what we do and the way we do it. But I've got no fault with his energy. We need his motor. You know, we need his energy. And like I said, his work ethic is going to make him a player. In that regard, you know, he's Dylan Brooks-like. You know, I mean, Dylan might not have come in after the game. I don't know what Abu does after the game because it's against NCAA rules for us to do anything after a game. But, you know, you see him in here at the gym, pre-practice, post-practice. He's got tremendous energy, and he's got a tremendous drive. And, you know, he needs to work on his body, he needs to work on his skill level, but there's no doubt in my mind that, you know, he can help our program and help us in a big way. So I do like his upside, and you know, it's just a matter of being patient and making it work.
There seems to be some momentum to either change or alter the get rid of the one and done thing NBA commissioner's been talking about. Do you have a feeling about whether that would be good for the game?
You know, since we never experienced it, we may have our first with Troy this year. know, I've never been through it. You know, I've never had to experience it and watch a player go through it. So I'm probably not the right person to ask. But for as good at college basketball, I think it would be a good rule that, you know, if they want to go out of high school because of family situation, if they just are ready, like a LeBron James, you know, there's very few of them that are, but there are some. Or if they just choose to develop through the G League, you know, and go that direction, that should probably be their choice. And again, since I don't go through it year in, year out, I don't see all the ins and outs of it. This is our first time experiencing it with Troy, and I just want what's best for Troy. You know, I don't see a downside of allowing a young man, if he chooses, you know, to go right away and follow his profession. If that's what he chooses to do. And then if he does that, you know, that takes all the pressure off of, you know, going to college for 1 year or doing whatever. And then, you know, whatever for players that go to college, how long they want to stay in. I don't know if 1 and done, 2 and done, 3 and done. There's been all kinds of models. The baseball model, football, they have to stay 3 years. It's those are different leagues. Whatever the NBA decides. You know, basketball, you know, like baseball's a little different from football. Football, they probably just the natural maturity and bigger, stronger, older for that kind of contact sport, you know, is different. But I'm not sure what the right model is. And but I think players should be able to go out of high school if they want. You know, if they decide that they're ready, if their families need the money, need the support, I think that probably should be open to them.
Do you think coaches in general would like not being in the position of having to recruit a guy who knows coming in that he's probably only going to spend a year?
You know, I don't know. Again, this is our first go through with it. You know, so I just don't know how to answer that. You know, we recruit players that we think fit the best. And really, when we started recruiting Troy as a junior, sophomore, junior, you know, I didn't really think of him as a one and done. You know, he's a nice player, and I know he was ranked real high and everything, but you know, he's so young. He's only 18 right now. You know, so you just didn't really think of him in that regard. You know, you look at DeAndre Ayton, you know, something like that. You go, you know, he's physically, you know, there's no doubt. But Troy's a lot younger, and so you just, when I recruited him, I wasn't there. So, again, you're probably asking the wrong guy just because I have not been through it. We haven't, this is our first time through it. Again, Troy's got wonderful parents. He's a wonderful young man. Whatever he and his parents feel is the best interest of Troy, you know, we're not going to try to talk him into staying. We're not going to try to talk him into going. It's their decision. You know, if he decides to come back, we'd love to work with them. We got a plan for him. But if he goes, we'll support him all the way. Just like we did Tyler, Jordan, Dylan. We didn't try to talk those guys into coming back. We didn't try to talk them into going. We just, whatever's best for you guys, decide with your families. If you decide to come back, here's what our plan is, but you got to do what's best for you. And I sincerely feel that about a high school player too. I mean, they got one athlete, it's their profession. You wouldn't tell a real talented musician, no, you can't go follow your dream, you got to go to college first. You know, it's kind of awkward that we do that with athletes, but again, whatever they decide to do, you know, I'm sure it'll be in the best interest of student athletes. Again, the NBA's got to make the decision, though. It's not ours. You know, I make that clear. It's whatever the NBA decides.
When did you and Troy start talking about his future during this season?
We haven't. No, we haven't. I just told him before the season. You know, then let's worry about the year and having the best year you can possibly have. I've got to admit I was a little disappointed he wasn't on the all-freshman team. I thought he deserved that. But that's part of, you know, not finishing the top 3 or 4. You know, but I thought he deserved to be on that. You know, what he's added to our program and his value to our team. You know, but that's neither here nor there. It just is what it is, you know. And there's been years where I've been really happy for our guys because they got the awards. years that haven't. So believe me, you know, it's ebb and flow. But I just, in this particular case, I thought he was one of the best 5 freshmen. But as I looked at the other 5, they're all really good players too, and they all have really good years. You know, so yeah, I'm sure it was a tough decision. But in my mind, I thought he was on the all freshman.
They're different situations, but how would you compare where Troy is right now to maybe your Elite 8 year when Dylan and Jordan and Tyler were kind of looking at the...
Well, you know, Dylan was 2 years into it, and Tyler was just 1, you know, like Troy. You know, just all different. You know, it's different.
Is there a lot that comes? Is there a lot more that comes with a player like Troy, though, who had that kind of hype coming in?
For him, maybe,
yeah.
Not for me. Right. I mean, you know, whatever. You know, but if you look at you know, Tyler's numbers were kind of the same as Troy's. Maybe not as much rebounder. You know, he wasn't as good a rebounder, but you know, he could score. You know, and they play with different teams. You know, so it's just every scenario is different. Every situation is different, and again, I just want what's best for Troy. You know, our job as a program is to put those guys into position and then let them do what they believe is best for them. And then we just got to make it work on the other end. If they decide to go, we got to go find players that we got to get ready for the next year. You know, and last year was just one of those years where we played 8 or 9 guys and only one of them came back. You know, so. It was a different year for us, but hey, again, our job is to put them in that position, and whatever's best for them. Casey Benson felt it was best for him to go back and play for his brother. And play. Hey, he had 3 great years for us. I wished him the best. I've talked to him this year, and you know, I just wished him the best. You know, and so Tyler started last night for Atlanta. I think they won by 1, and he got the start. Dylan's been starting all the time, Jordan. And then Chris tore it up last week. He had a double-double, like a 24 and 18, 24 and 16 something kind of game. So he's back, his knee's great, he's happy. So you know, I couldn't feel any better for those guys.
All that being considered, how hard was this season for Peyton? And just, I mean, I think everyone just kind of assumed that he would kind of take the scoring role and all sorts of those things, but he's still just a sophomore too. And
I put too much on him. You know, you know, to lead, you know, he's the only guy back. You know, I'm throwing all this stuff on him. Tough situation to put him in. I mean, he's had to handle the ball. He's played a lot of minutes. He's handled it well. He's fought it. He's handled it well. I've been on him about getting our defense more intense and on him about turning the ball over. I mean, I've been on him about everything, and he's handled it. He's fought it. He's shot it well. We haven't gotten him enough shots, you know, because he's got the ball in his hands and the focus. It's hard to give it up, get it back, and get some shots. But no, I think he's handled it pretty well. I think there's a lot more there, though, you know, and I'm going to keep challenging him because there's more leadership there. You know, there's more that he can do. But if you look at progression, it's hard to throw all that on in his second year. You know, I'm asking him to do things that I wouldn't ask other players to do until end of junior year or even senior year. And I threw it all on him as a sophomore. And that's been tough on him. But like I said, he's handled it well. And I think next year he'll handle it great. And I think he'll grow as a player. But in fairness to him, with all the new guys that we had and as much as I've thrown at him and asked him to do, you know, he's done a pretty good job. Anybody else? All right.